How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's gonna pass the drug trade. Because you can sell a bag of cocaine one time with a child 5 to 10 times a day. God's children are not for sale.
How long you been doing this?
12 years now.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? ¿Puedes ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana?
Te lo prometo.
For Homeland Security, you know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
Which means she'll disappear for good. Imagine walking into her room right now, seeing an empty bed. What we do?
You quit your job, and you go and rescue those kids.
So at this moment, she could be a block down the road, or she could be in Moscow, Bangkok, LA. She's a major operator.
It's all rebel territory. No one goes in. Not the army, not the police, not us.
What if this was your daughter?
There's no Marine unit coming.
You're on your own. This job tears you to pieces. And this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
When God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate.
An estimated 2 million children are trafficked every year, and we can help them. Sound of Freedom is based on a true story about real-life heroes saving kids from the dark world of child trafficking. We know this is heartbreaking and it hurts to look at, but the first step in helping these children is hearing their story. Not enough people know this problem exists, and even fewer people are willing to do anything about it. Our goal is to inspire 2 million people to attend the film's opening weekend, to represent the 2 million trafficked children around the world. To spread the word, Angel Studios set up a Pay It Forward program where you can pay for someone else's ticket who might not otherwise see it. If the ticket price is stopping you from attending, claim your free ticket at angel.com/freedom. Sound of Freedom opens the week of July 4th. Every parent, every adult, and every teenager in America should be there to see it. If millions of us come together today to see this film, we could propel the movement to help save millions of children around the world. And you can send the message that God's children are no longer for sale.
They did it, gang. The Sound of Freedom, the movie that's taking the nation by storm, is about to hit $100 million at the box office, literally in hours. News of the $100 million mark came after it was revealed that the film's second weekend in theaters hauled in even more money than it did its first weekend. And that's when it debuted as the #1 film in the nation, officially beating out the likes of none other than Disney's Indiana Jones, what Newsweek called an incredible box office coup. Remember, no one in Hollywood wanted to touch this film. No one. And this movie has been intentionally suppressed by our Hollywood elite now for the last 5 years. They finished this film 5 years ago. For 5 freaking years, no one in Hollywood would touch it. It was a film all dressed up with nowhere to go, and yet despite all of those obstacles, including, as I'm sure you know, all kinds of sabotaging attempts, right? Even Newsweek is reporting on suspicious activity happening in theaters around the nation showing the film. There have been numerous reports from moviegoers experiencing bizarre disruptions, including ticket refunds, sudden fire alarms, malfunctioning air conditioning systems, and other unsettling incidents. But despite all of that, the patriots behind this film never gave up. They never gave in to despair or futility. They believed in this film, and for 5 years, they've been doing everything they can to get it in just half the theaters across the country that are showing Indiana Jones or any other supposed to be blockbuster. And now it's The Sound of Freedom that is the #1 film in the nation. Now, what's happening here is actually part of a wider trend that some have noticed of the culture wars moving to the right towards a far more nationalist, populist, and traditionalist sentiment. It's not just The Sound of Freedom, although the current $100 million success is certainly testimony to this massive culture war shift. We're seeing this shift toward the right in all kinds of cultural spaces. So just weeks ago, a conservative rapper by the name of Forgiato knocked Taylor Swift off from the #1 most downloaded song on iTunes with the song Boycott Target, right? The song, of course, rode the wave of the massive boycott backlash against the department store Target for its ridiculous pride-themed clothing line for children. Target suffered a massive loss in market valuation. They lost a stunning $10 billion in 10 days. $10 billion in 10 days. Their stock price dropped by nearly 14%. And to make it even worse for them, the #1 song on iTunes was all about targeting them. So that was a huge victory for the right in the culture wars. And then we saw something we never imagined we'd actually see.
A middle school pride event took just a terrible turn in Burlington.
Parents and teachers outraged over the response to a middle school pride event.
Parents angry at town hall over intolerance at Marshall Simons Middle School.
Instead of showing support, some students allegedly destroyed decorations there.
The incident behind this happened 2 Fridays ago here at Simmons Middle School. We're told a group of students started chanting, "My pronouns are USA," and tore down some rainbow banners while another group of students was setting up a pride display.
Kids were asked to wear rainbow clothes in honor of Pride Spirit Day, but some organized a counter-protest wearing red, white, and blue or black.
Students were invited to show their pride and wear rainbow clothing in celebration of Pride Month. Students wore red, white, and blue clothing, chanted, "My pronouns are USA," and destroyed rainbow decorations at the school.
Pride posters were ripped down, stickers ripped up. Some students chanted, "USA are my pronouns," and students showing pride were intimidated.
Gang, did you know that we can actually use our elite's corruption against them? You know that companies like BlackRock have been bribing corrupt politicians like Nancy Pelosi with insider trading secrets for decades now. They know a whole host of trading secrets that give them an unfair advantage when picking stocks. But did you know that thanks to a little-known SEC database, guess what? We can have access to those very secrets as well. We get to see what stocks these corporate CEOs are buying up in real time, and then we get to piggyback on their trades to gain the same advantage for ourselves that Pelosi and the crooks in D.C. have. My friend Ross Givens has been tracking insider trading for years now, and his recommendations have led to investment returns of over 200%. Some have hit as high as nearly 1,500%. And according to Ross, there's simply no better way to beat the market. And now it's your turn. Click on that link below right now and learn how you too can learn to trade like Pelosi. Click on that link and learn how to gain an insider advantage for yourself today. My pronouns are USA. These are middle schoolers. And what makes it even better, it was a school in Massachusetts, in one of the bluest regions and one of the bluest states in the nation. These students, God bless them, these children of Democrats rose up in defiance of their radically woke administration and staff, and they refused to comply with their leftist indoctrination. And that's a pattern that we're actually beginning to see in the bluest of blue regions across the country. And it's not just here in the States. We're seeing the same thing in Canada as well. Check this out.
People on social media, particularly fueled by the American right wing, are spreading a lot of untruths.
A challenging encounter was captured on film as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau faced questions from concerned Muslim parents.
Which is something that, Islam has.
The issue at hand, the teaching of gender ideology in schools.
There is not what is being said out there about aggressive teaching or conversion of kids to being LGBT. That is something that is being weaponized by people who are not doing it because of their interest in supporting the Muslim community.
Leave our kids alone! The Muslim community in Calgary has been vocal in recent weeks. They have rallied protest after protest behind a powerful slogan, "Leave our kids alone," expressing their resistance to gender ideology being taught in schools.
Like teaching this ideology in schools is violating our rights as parents because we believe we have the right to teach our kids the way we see fit.
When the Prime Minister found himself confronted about this growing concern, his response was somewhat evasive. Trudeau suggested that the controversy surrounding the provincial curriculum were the byproduct of disinformation spread by American right-wing social media influencers.
That's right, gang. It's the right wing's fault. The American right wing's fault that so many Canadian Muslim parents are rising up against this absurd, insane, woke school curriculum for their kids. I mean, it's the same thing we're seeing here in the States just weeks ago in Hamtramck, Michigan, which has our nation's first all-Muslim city council. That city council voted unanimously to officially ban the LGBT pride flag from being flown on any city property. And what makes this ban all the more interesting is that it happened in a city that votes overwhelmingly Democrat. Hamtramck is part of Wayne County, Michigan, which on average votes 70%, yes, you heard that right, 70% Democrat, which is now, according to Justin Trudeau, being infiltrated by the right. The right is now radically influencing Muslim parents in both the States and Canada to push back against radical wokeness in their schools. But they are correct in at least one thing. All this suggests that we're seeing a massive turn to the right in our culture wars. Sound of Freedom, #1 at the box office. Boycott Target, #1 on iTunes. Middle school students declaring their pronouns are USA. Muslim parents pushing back. The culture wars are swinging way to the right. And it looks to me like we're just getting started. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.